My face is naked. I ain't got no eyebrows on or nothing. Jesus. Oh. Anyway. Hello. I'm back for another video. Two things first before we get started. One, look at this. Look. My nail broke. I'm so sad. I had to file it so I wouldn't cut myself because it broke right on the edge, right where my fingertip is. I was like, man, dang. It didn't even break at a piece where I could fix it. Well, if it had broke anywhere, I don't think I'd have been able to fix it. So there's that. Anyway, second thing, I got a do-rag on. It's currently after midnight and I'm getting ready to go to bed, and I just recently shaved my head. I'm bald-headed under here, and if you talk about my do-rag, you're anti-black. Okay? First and second piece of business out the way. All right. This video, we're going to be talking about control. And just like the last video, this was kind of a difficult video for me to talk about because it's one of those things that it's like, it's hard for me to admit that I'm like kind of a control freak in a sense. Like, I like to have control of certain things. I like to have control of certain aspects of my life. And when I don't have control, I feel out of whack. I feel like I'm spiraling. I'm gonna go insane because I don't like it. But, you know, sometimes you just gotta admit to yourself, like, hey, you one of them people that you be talking about. You one of them people that you be talking about. And you gotta do something about that because it's not cute, you know? So let's get into it. So, I want to just kind of talk about how I came to find out that I like to be in control of certain things and I don't like when certain things go my way. I'm gonna be real honest because that's the point of these videos. Most of the times when I found myself in a situation where I wanted to be in control and wasn't and didn't like it, it was a relationship. It was a romantic relationship. And part of that, and you know, we're gonna save this for another video, but part of that is because for a long time I've had a very idealized version of what romantic relationships are supposed to be like. And you know, you learn from the examples that are in your life, like the direct examples, like parents, aunts and uncles, grandparents, older cousins, you know, family, friends, like things like that. You learn from those types of relationships. But then, you know, especially if you're an American, you know, movies and TV shows, and it's everything is so like grand and like, you know, not realistic. And so you kind of take whatever examples you have and you say, okay, well, that's what a relationship is supposed to be like, and develop expectations based on that. And a lot of times those expectations are not realistic, or they're not healthy, or even if they are realistic and they are healthy, it's just not something that you're specifically supposed to have for yourself, because every relationship is different and you shouldn't expect your relationship to be like anyone else's, because no two people are the same, which means your relationship, even if it's the best, most healthy relationship on the face of the planet, and it's so beautiful and wonderful and whatever, it doesn't mean that that's going to be what your relationship is like, and it doesn't mean that that type of relationship would work for you, because you're not the same people. Okay, so The first example, I'm about to expose myself. The first example I'm gonna give is the last person that I actually was in a relationship with. And I'm not gonna give, like specific details because I still love and respect that person very much. And we're still cool. And so I'm not gonna talk about, specific I'm not gonna talk about them. I'm gonna talk about myself out of respect for that person. But I just like I found myself after a certain amount of time just kind of being like, this is not what I want. And I was, without really realizing at first, I was taking my frustration and my anger out on that person because I wasn't satisfied in the relationship. I wasn't happy with the way that things were going. And I didn't realize at first that I wanted to control certain aspects of the relationship. Like, I wanted to be able to control everything that happened when they came to visit me. I wanted to be able to control things that were going on when we went on dates. Like, just like, and most of the time it was just like very little things that I wanted to be able to control and didn't realize it. And it got to a point where I was like, you're breathing the wrong way and I'm irritated. Like, and it's not like they're just breathing. They're just like, we're all human. You have to breathe. You need oxygen to survive. It's so unrealistic and strange to me to be irritated. Reverse. Okay. Sorry. Come back. I don't even know what I was going to say. Anyway, it's strange to be irritated. There we go. Irritated by that type of thing. And then I came to a point where I was like, okay, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, at some point you have to stop yourself and be like, you're breathing the wrong way and I'm mad. Like, there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me because I'm irritated by that. And I didn't even really know where to start with myself. I was just like, I know that there's something about myself that I'm not confronting that I need to work on, but I can't do it in this relationship because I'm going to end up resenting you, and it won't be your fault, but it'll happen. And so, and our breakup was mutual. We both were like, we know we need to break up. And I genuinely am grateful and thank God that we're still friends and we still love each other and we're still, because they're a wonderful person. We both had some things, but I really needed to have a lot of self-reflection and, get myself together. And what did I do? The opposite of that. It's gonna be honest. I did the opposite of that, and there was another person after that I was like head over heels, like, ooh, want to be with you. Somebody that does not even live in the same state. We're not going to talk about that one until I'm ready. I probably will never be ready. And I also, there are just too many details about that situation that, like, I'm also still friends with that person and very cool with that person and have a lot of respect for that person. So I probably won't talk about that either. But like, I didn't take the time that I needed to take at the moment. And I rushed myself into a different situation, which was stupid, but it's happened already and there's nothing I can do to change that. But since then, I've had a lot of time to be able to sit myself down, especially over the last, very specifically, because this is when this control freak self-reflection moment happened, Lord, was over the past like 4 to 5 months. Well, 2 to 4 months is more accurate. Just to be like, girl, what's wrong with you? And you know, it shows up in so many things that I never thought that it would show up in. Like, if I, for example, feel like I want to do specific things a certain day. So like, if I plan out my whole day the night before, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get up at this time, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. And then after I finish that by this time, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. And then I'm going to spend some time relaxing, and I'm gonna watch this many episodes of this show. And I'm gonna eat this, that, and the other food. And then I'm gonna go to bed by this time. And I wake up 45 minutes and 27 seconds after I plan to wake up. I'm upset. And it's like, well, damn, now I gotta throw the whole day away. And that's not a rational thought to have. It's not a realistic thought to have by any means. But there have been a lot of times that I felt like that. And I started really noticing that I was doing that. And I was like, man, why do I feel like I have to just quit everything if one little thing doesn't go my way? And it wasn't until I was talking to one of my best friends about being in control that I realized it, because she was like, yeah, like I don't like not being in control. It bothers me. And I was like, oh yeah, we been knew that. I don't like not being in control either. It bothers me too. And later that day, like even when I said it, I didn't put two and two together. But later that day, I was like, you just admitted out loud that you don't like being in control, and you ain't never did that one before. And that means that subconsciously you knew the whole time that you had that issue, and you just didn't want to admit it to yourself, but you were comfortable with this specific person to be able to talk about it because she was being vulnerable with you, and you always feel like you can be vulnerable with her. And so it just came out. And then I really had to be like, it's out in the open. I've said it now. I can't run from it. And that feeling is so uncomfortable, because it's like, a lot of times we want to be able to push things down and like just not acknowledge them if we don't have to. But once it's out there and once we really have to face it, it's like that's when the real work begins. And I did not want to do the work. I really didn't. Like, this whole channel is about improving my mental health and doing the work and discovering myself, reaching my higher self and things like that. But there are so many things that I just don't want to confront. And this was one of them. And it's most of the things that I want to be able to control our relationships. And like a few examples of that are like, okay, so I will try to tailor myself in a way, a lot of times, to make myself seem like a certain type of person, because I've gotten it in my head one way or another that if I do that, someone will be more inclined and more likely to like me, and find me appealing and find me attractive and want to date me and want to be with me. And so if I do this, that, and the other, and if I say this thing when they say this, then I'm going to be more appealing to this person. And that is not the truth. And I have learned that the hard way. And it's also just very exhausting to do that kind of thing, because it's like, not only am I not being myself, but I'm curating a whole second being. And when I get home, I've got to look at myself in the mirror and know that this person that I'm pretending to be with whoever is not me. And it's just, I'm tired. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't have to do it. I just, for some reason, for a lot of reasons, thought that, you know, you got to be like this and you got to be like that and you got to be, you know, from whatever external influences there were around me that made me think that. I was just like, the person that I am is not good enough. And so I have to be whatever else for someone to find me desirable. And that's not true. And I'm learning that. I have been learning that for a while now. And I'm no longer doing that because, ew. Oh, no. But it's not just that, it's also like work relationships, and that's also another video, because there's a lot more to those kinds of situations than just wanting to be in control. And if you are someone that is Black, or if you are another person of color watching this video, I'm gonna say a good 7 out of 10% chance you know exactly what I'm talking about. But you know, I'm trying my best to release control and release my expectations of certain situations, like release what I want the outcome to be and how I want certain situations to play out, especially with relationships, because it just is not realistic. And I can control what I say and do, but I can't control what the other person says or does, or how they feel. And I'm just gonna have to stop letting that bother me. I'm gonna have to work on, and another factor, of course, is my anxiety getting in the way of things, but I'm just gonna have to tell myself that it's gonna be okay, even if the outcome isn't necessarily good, because, you know, if you're a person dealing with anxiety, a lot of times you are trying to fix things before they have a chance to go wrong. And that it can be part of where the control issue comes from. And so, you know, I'm trying my best to let go of that. It's going okay so far. It's going okay. It's a little musty over here, you know. It's not the best situation, but I'm trying. I'm putting in the effort, and I feel like that's what matters. And if you say anything different, you're anti-Black. That's the second time I said that. It's time to go to bed because I'm tripping over my words. All right. I was trying to say that's the second time I've said that in this video. Lord have mercy. All right. I'm gonna end the video here because we're currently sitting at, if you notice, I'm looking over here, I'm looking at the time for how long this video is run, and I'm currently at 19 minutes and 55 seconds. So I think we've talked enough. It's time to go to bed. This video is not going to be uploaded the same night that I'm recording because it's very late. It's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to do this tomorrow, which is Saturday, the 8th or 9th of October. You'll see it when it gets uploaded. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Of course, I appreciate you for being here if you're watching, especially if you watched all the way to the end. I love you for coming along with my journey. I don't know when the next video is going to be uploaded, but you'll see more of me, of course, because, girl, I've got 25 years worth of shit to unpack, so there's going to be more. Yes. Good night. I will see you next time. Bye.